Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here with a quick video review of a game called Aftercharge, which is a newly released game available for the Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It is an online-only 3v3 tactical first-person game. One of the biggest draws for this game for a lot of the people watching will probably be the fact that it is also a part of Xbox Game Pass. I think the best way to start the review is by kind of explaining how the gameplay works. So each of the maps has 6 glowing structures, and these are called extractors, and they serve as the main objective for both teams. The robots, or Workonics, have to coordinate their attacks, create distractions, and sneak around in order to destroy them. Now, the coolest ability of the Workonics is the fact that they are completely invisible unless they are interacting with something or being tracked by an enforcer. Now, the enforcers, on the other hand, have to cover as much ground as possible and use their guns and abilities to spot the attackers and make sure to disable them before they can take out all of the extractors. You'll also want to keep in mind that the enforcers are completely invincible and do not have any health. However, they will need to keep themselves powered up using the energy from the extractors. Additionally, the Workonics can be disabled, like I said, but they do have an infinite amount of revives between each other. Now it's time to get into some of my personal opinions on the game, and number one, we'll start with the graphics, the most obvious part of the game. They look good. They are colorful. Everything's kind of easy to distinguish. Everything stands out. There is a cool theme for each of the maps, and the audio is also another standout part of the game, being done incredibly well. Additionally, the tutorial that you are forced to play once you start the game for the first time is really well designed and gives you a really great understanding of the game right off the bat, which you'll need going into it. Another cool thing about this game is that it is incredibly unique. I wouldn't classify it as a first-person shooter. It's more of a strategy game of sorts, and it does a good job distinguishing itself from other games and other genres. With that being said, I am glad I played it. However, I don't know if I can necessarily recommend it. As you can tell by the subtitle of the review, I think the game is just okay. It was fun to play for a couple of hours, but I don't really see myself returning after taking a break. And there are some pretty bad glaring issues, in my opinion, in terms of the balancing in the game and in terms of how the game is played, or what a lot of players would call the meta of the game. I think my entire experience with this game can be summarized as follows. The fun way to play the game isn't very effective, and the effective way to play the game isn't very fun. What ends up happening is that you end up feeling that you can either not have fun but give yourself a better chance to win, or basically decide that you're going to lose the game at the expense of playing it in a fun way. Based on my experience with the game in about 100 games, it seemed to me as though the Workonics have the advantage for the most part because of their ability to do infinite revives and having small invincibility periods after those revives. What I found to be the most effective would be to basically just get as many revives off per round and sacrifice each other in order to get a couple of hits off on the extractor. This seemed to be by far the best strategy to winning every game as a Workonic, and in terms of being an enforcer, it sometimes felt as though there was actually no way to win the game unless the other team made a huge mistake in their strategy. Additionally, there was a pretty big problem with the pacing of the matches and the fact that there is no clock or overtime period in the game. There are sometimes matches that last literally 10 to 15 seconds when the enforcers get really aggressive and attack all the Workonics. But if you have a very passive Workonic team, the matches can last well over the 5 to 7 minute mark. And sometimes it just feels like you're sitting around and waiting for certain people to make a move. And that can unfortunately also kind of bring down the experience. I think all of that is pretty unfortunate though, because there's a lot to like about this game. There are a lot of little cool design elements. There's a lot of cool abilities to play around with, and it can be really fun with friends to try to like strategize and win games. However, with that being said, it's just hard to recommend because in my personal experience, playing the game in a non-fun way in order to play it competitively and win seemed like the far more effective strategy, which resulted in me not wanting to play the game for extended periods of time. There are also like little small things that I don't want to be like too nitpicky about, but sometimes when people quit, there are no bots to fill their spots. So if you do end up on a team with someone who quits, you are more or less probably going to lose. Additionally, leveling feels excruciatingly slow. Even something as simple as going from level 7 to 8 seemed to take something like 15 or 20 matches, which seems a little long. And last but not least, there's no overall stats screen at the main menu. I would have loved to see how many wins I had, how many losses I had, how many kills I had on each of the teams, and whatnot. Overall, I feel that this game is a really good start. However, it does need some adjustments to be made to it in order for it to be fair and fun for everyone. And I might be able to recommend it down the line, but for now, I would probably advise you to pass on it. However, if you do have Game Pass and a couple of buddies to play with, you may enjoy a couple of hours playing this. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you agree or disagree with my comments and have had a chance to play the game, please leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of the video. Drop a like if you found the video informational or entertaining. A special thank you to the amazing people on Patreon for supporting the show, and hopefully I see you guys next time. Peace.